Hello and welcome to Livin la Liga Loca.
Your first and only source of news for La Primera Liga Bautista Hispan.
I'm Kurt.
And I'm Joshua.
Got a great show coming up for you, following pretty much the basic formula we've been doing.
I love how you start that with every single time as well. It's the same formula.
It's because it is always a great show here. Because we follow a formula.
Yeah, the same formula.
If it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Don't fix it. Joshua, let's jump right into last week here.
Yes, we will be jumping into last week.
Exciting week.
Phenomenal week.
The week that we saw that the Alphas are actually not the team to look out for.
Immediately after you said they were the team to, in fact, look out
I
for.
might as well have called him the new sheriff in town with what happened and what appears to be happening this week.
Yeah.
You know?
We have a lot of new sheriffs from last week, honestly.
Yeah. Lots of sheriffs. And if everyone's a sheriff,
we're going to have a Mexican standoff. We're not having a Mexican standoff.
That's not where I was going, but it does work, so I like it. Okay. But, so like I said, we saw last week, Joshua, that the Alphas, not the team to keep your eye out for.
Unfortunately not, you know. It breaks my heart.
But maybe
so does illness. But Alphas is unfortunately not successful in securing that other victory they really needed.
You know, maybe they'll do well in the consolation cup.
Maybe.
Now, so obviously that means the Cracker Country defeated the Alphas.
Yes.
Stopping,
which is crazy too.
Stopping an absolute free fall that Cracker Cruncher was in.
100%, and he did it in a very spectacular way too.
Yes.
I mean, Cheo unfortunately already hadn't put up a whole bunch of points, but that week Cracker Cruncher decided to go off and put up 143 to Cheo's 92.
It's what the kids call a big dub.
You're right. They do say that. Those are the words they say.
I'm lit.
He's tight.
I'm tight. I have aura.
Don't use those words. This isn't even my house, but her house. Don't use those words in this house.
I'm Sigma.
He's the Rizzler.
Ohio.
So many people are gonna hate the show. Abby already calls us cringe. Do we need her to give her a reason to further say that?
No, I'm not cringe. I'm cool. That's what we... Okay. All of that slang that I was dropping like it was hot just now.
Yes.
That means cool.
Okay.
So moving on, Joshua, to the next match. We have David the Vulture Kachiks versus the aptly named Kings Dethroned.
Mm-hmm. Kings Dethroned actually didn't put up too bad of a score this week, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough to overcome what Kachiks put up, which is 144 to Kings Dethroned 122.
He would have beaten the Alphas.
I was looking through that actually, and he would have beaten a whole bunch of people, and a lot of them pretty highly rated. The Aurelian Empire, Hey Macarena, Alphas. Okay, so like one of those is really highly rated, but still, he would have beat out a ton of people.
Kings Dethroned is not his week. Not his week. You know, leaves this commentator to ask, will it ever be his week again?
That's a great question. The one I don't have the answer to, you know. I want to say stuff like, oh, turn around and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But, I mean, we are seeing a very consistent streak from George. And if he doesn't want to be last place and receive that punishment, like, something very, very drastically needs to change. I wouldn't even know what that something is, but whatever it is, better happen soon.
Yes. Tomorrow, which means in the past, by the time you're watching this video, I will send out a list of the punishments.
We don't get into
the group chat.
We can leave that as a segment afterwards. We just keep going through the teams now.
And we will vote in the group chat for which punishment we will do. Which, again, will have already happened by the time this episode airs.
What happened to the formula that we came up with?
Little inside baseball. You'll see what day we record these episodes on. Assuming I remember to send the text.
And that I upload the video on time. Dynamic duo.
Now, that brings us, of course, that was a natural segue to the next match.
Extremely
which
natural.
Was the reigning Connor versus Hey Macarena. And I said it before you turned the camera on, and it was such a good line, I'm going to say it again. If you have stock in Better David, sell!
That was a great line.
Thank you.
That was a
Thank
really
you.
great line.
Yes, yes. Much like a fisherman reeling in the big one.
The big bass.
The big bass.
Yep.
The big marlin, if it's the old man in the sea. You need a great line.
Was it McCarlin?
Reigning Conqueror on a heater.
Very.
On a heater.
Like, highest score that week, and is that actually the highest score we've seen in general?
No, I believe that Armando, when he just went off on Jason like 11 or 12 weeks ago, still has the highest score.
What was that score? Do you
I
have
don't
to
remember.
Dang. Honestly, it's got to be pretty close to this one.
I'm on it. You filibuster. I'll look it up.
Hey. Do you
We'll
have
talk about the game.
a hard time dealing with negative emotions? Are you feeding that negative wolf that is in your heart, in betwixt both chambers and above two ventricles? I don't know if ventricles are on the top or the bottom. I'm studying cardiology and this is not looking good so far. Stop it. Get some help. Feed your positive wolves. Po-wolves.
We have a correction to make on the show.
Yeah.
This is the highest score.
There we go. You interrupted me for no reason.
Well done, Reigning Conqueror.
Yeah, and that score being 178 to McCarran is 103. You know, it's one thing to just have that victory, have that dub, as the kids would say.
The big dub.
But this was about sending a message that the reigning conqueror is here, and he's gonna be going for that to defend his title once more.
And he's reigning.
And he's roaring.
All right, next match we have Willie and the Boys versus Embrace the Suck. Embrace the Suck showing once more that those players sure hate their manager.
And you called it. You did call it last week. You said that this would happen. I don't remember specifically what you said, but I do remember having this conversation saying, like, you know, are we going to be seeing this as just a close match, the one that we're not going to call? And you said, and I quote, Armando's team hates him.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, big time.
And
he'll be the
this is
first
just
one to
shown
tell
here.
you that.
This is just shown here again.
He was here the other night, Joshua, as was manager of Willie and the Boys.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason, manager of Willie and the Boys, told Armando, you know, I think you're going to win tomorrow. And his exact words were, nope, it's time for my regularly scheduled loss.
Man, he even saw it coming then.
Yeah. He knew.
That's crazy.
He knew.
That's unfortunate, really. That's so unfortunate.
Unfort.
I've never seen... Huh?
Unfort.
Why unfort?
Unfortunate. Unfort. So I'm the cool one on the panel.
Okay.
All right, we'll just move on then. So that brings us to Total Eclipse of the Heart, this fella, versus the Aurelian Empire.
I told you last week one that I was extremely worried about, and honestly, this is not the outcome I expected.
You know what? I think I called this one too.
You did call it.
I did.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie. I think my predictions last week were pretty spot on. Other than the whole Alphas debacle.
Yeah, when I was editing through the video, I kind of kept a mental note about the predictions. I've been doing that lately, especially with playoffs coming up. Keeping mental notes about these predictions, you know, sometimes writing things down so we can look at them later. And honestly, you've been spot on with everything since the last week. It's crazy. Crazy.
So, everyone watch out. The Joshua curse is real. It's back.
Yeah.
It's back, everybody.
With my victory over the Aurelian Empire, 129-297. Honestly, I feel like any other week he would have beaten me. It was just unfortunate. He started off the week with Eichel already injured. You know, I wasn't complaining too much, but I'm sure he was.
I would be. Yeah. And, you know, as someone closely trailing the Aurelian Empire in the standings, all I have to say is thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Ben thanked me too.
Well, as he should. Now,
I want you to.
Brings us to the last match
Yeah.
of the week, which was between Mix's Matchless Team and Commission Possible. And once again, to my horror, my prediction was correct.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Yeah, Mix triumphed over me. And I'm telling you, I know I said this about the Alphas, but now I mean it. Mix's Matchless Team is a team to watch.
Yeah, I actually talked to him during the week too, and he's like, "Hey, do you think I win? Did you guys talk good about me? Do you think like da 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 da?" And yeah, we said it, and it happened. Mix's matchup team is a team not just to look out for, but I think to fear.
And it is a team that cannot be matched.
This is a factual statement. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who would disagree with this factual statement? If only someone else was in the room with us.
Silence from the peanut gallery.
The peanut gallery. I love that.
You ever heard it called that?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. There you go. The peanut gallery is actually leaving. They are so fed up with our nonsense. Actually, I thought the peanut gallery was picking up a projectile. Turns out the peanut gallery was just cold. They got a blanket.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Mix, congratulations. You know, I have to tell you, there are people in this league, Joshua, that you hate to lose against. You're just like, this is the worst moment of my life, you know? And then there's people where you're like, you know what? I'm okay losing to you. And Mix is one of those people. You know,
I get the sentiment.
I am all right losing to him. He's a cool guy. He's a chill guy. Well-earned dub. Well-earned big dub.
Honestly, I get the sentiment. I do understand that. Honestly, with my position, I can't really afford to lose to anybody. But Mix's matchup team, you know, I would congratulate him.
Oh, yeah.
I think after the rough season he's been having thus far. Honestly, it's not...
He's hot as a pistol right now, my friend.
Definitely, yes. But like at the very beginning of the season, you know, he did have quite the rough start.
Now, for those of you who don't know at home, Joshua is also our editor. I feel like I must be right in the center of the shot, and you must be off to the side. So I'm going to scoot over. For those of you who don't know at home, Joshua is also the editor of these wonderful this wonderful program.
Hi.
And what Joshua is going to do now is he's going to put up a chart. And on this chart... You're going to be seeing, it's going to be overlaid over me as I'm speaking right now, okay? But you're going to see on this chart the trajectory in blue, in the graph on the chart in blue, you're going to see Kings Nation, the trajectory of their season. Yeah. You're going to see, I want you guys to notice on this chart how it starts way up high and then just a precipitous drop.
Is that a dinosaur?
And then,
wow, look how curly he's going to be here.
Whoa! And then, on the other side of the graph, you're going to notice in red, you're going to see the trajectory of Mix's matchless team. And what you'll notice is that it just, both teams flatline at the beginning, but on opposite ends. Mix is way down here, and then King's dethroned up here.
Is that
and
above or below the turtle that's going to be swimming in the middle of this?
The turtle is bisecting them, you could say. And then you'll notice on this graph that Joshua has been kind enough, and all these other extra things he's throwing in, you're going to notice these two lines on the graph just kind of cross.
Yeah.
Because what you can see is they have had really opposite seasons. And that's what that graph that you just saw, fine folks at home, that's what that graph just showed really well.
I don't think I could describe it
really
better
artfully
myself.
done, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a team to watch. Mix's matchless team.
Yes. Editing, not so much.
Well, no, the editing is for sure a thing to watch. That's what's going to really tie this. That's what's going to bring us to the next level, I think.
That is a statement to make. That who knows if it will come up in the future.
It will.
Yeah.
It will. I have full faith in this man here. Well, that brings us to this week, Joshua. Another perfect segue.
Another perfect segue.
I would say we're riding that mix line going straight. Put the graph up again, Joshua. We're riding that mix line going straight to the top in this episode. So, Joshua.
Did we go through all the teams already?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that actually felt way shorter than usual. I would love it if we just find out at the end that we're missing like 3 different teams.
No, we nailed it. Yeah. So, we have the reigning Connaughton against Jason, Willie and the boys. A rematch of last year's final. And I gotta tell you, I think that the reigning Connaughton should change his name to the suspended Connaughton. And I think he has basically 0 shot winning this week against Jason.
Which is a huge, huge upset, honestly. Mm-hmm. It's insane how detrimental this very first day was for him.
Oh my goodness.
Can you tell us specifically why it was so
absolutely. So first things first, and it didn't have an impact on today's score, but it was announced today that Connor McDavid will be serving a 3-game suspension, meaning that I believe this entire week, Ben does not have Connor McDavid.
Yeah,
right?
Which is huge, especially this time into the season.
Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you say, okay, well, maybe he can pull it off with one of his other great Connors, right? In Connor Hellebuck. And I believe, I'm going to double check this, but Connor Hellebuck today, who's like routinely putting up, 10, 11, 12 points on a kind of a tougher night, maybe 6 or 7.
He's an amazing goalie.
Amazing. Puts up a 0.6
in a 2-5 loss to Utah.
Who loses to Utah?
Hellebuck does.
Utah is the man who has no name. They're the Utah Hockey Club. Joshua.
Yes, they are.
Imagine losing. You say, okay, who did you lose to? Did you lose to the Knights? Did you lose to the Kraken? Did you lose to the Hurricane? The Avalanche? No, I lost to the Hockey Club.
The first rule about Hockey Club, you don't talk about
Don't talk about Hockey Club. The second rule about Hockey Club, you don't talk about Hockey Club. Now, I think this is an easy prediction. I think Jason walks away with it.
Honestly, that's what it's shaping up to
I
be.
just don't see. This is just not going to be the week. You have no McDavid for the week. You have Hellebuck off to a bad start. It's just not the week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all games for the day are over, right? It's 10:14 p.m. for us. Looking through their current games, Ben has played through 7, Jason has played through 8, and we're seeing a very huge difference. Not just because one game difference between them played right now, but like way bigger than that you just can't really make up for. 19 to 38. It's basically a 20-point gap.
Yeah, I think this one's over. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see something from Ben throughout the week, but I think it'll be very close if anything happens.
I think it's over. I'm calling it right now. I think it's over.
Right.
Now,
I think it's worth mentioning too. Dobson seems to be put on day to day.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. Oh my goodness.
So imagine getting another person out on top of McDavid.
Left with an undisclosed injury. That could be a disaster.
It's the undisclosed ones that really get me nervous.
Yeah. When they are disclosed, then you know what you're dealing with. Because that's what disclosed means.
Yeah.
Well, moving along, we have the Cracker Cruncher versus Kings Dethroned. And again, along with my believing foolishly that the Alphas were the team to watch, the other thing I got wrong was I said Moy, the manager of the Cracker Cruncher, was only going to win one more game. And again, that goes hand in hand with my prediction on the Alphas. The Alphas really not living up to what I thought they would.
The Betas, if anything.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to have to say, I think starting this week, Moy wins one more game the rest of the season.
I think you're going to have to be saying that week after week.
I don't think I am. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, he looks like he's doing pretty decent this week, and he did last week. So can we maybe see it a third time?
One win from here to the end of the season.
All right, I'm trying to stick up.
They call him old one-win Moy is what they call him.
Well, we're going to have to start calling him 2-win Moy at the very least.
We should really call him 7-win Moy. Because he's won 7 times.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Moy Siete is a nickname we have for him since he was a child.
It's like you knew.
I did not name him that.
Oh, well, it's like whoever named him that knew.
Yeah.
So, who's winning this week? Moy or Kings Dethroned?
Honestly, it's looking a whole lot like Moy here. It's a very similar gap that we have to Jason and Dwayne Conacher with the opposite records.
Yeah.
This Jason and Ben happen at the top. Moy and Kings Nation happening down here.
Actually, Jason and Moy do have the same record right now.
Oh,
Actually, yeah, no, they have the same record.
Oh, well, never mind. I think Jason's still up there. He's up there in my heart, like cholesterol. But anyway, I do believe Moy's going to be walking away with that win. We're seeing another 20-point difference here. There are no outs on either side, but, I mean, it's just unfortunate. We do have George with more games, but those 4 games extra he has are really going to have to make up for that 20-point difference at this point.
And we'll see if it happens.
Yeah. I honestly hope it does. I would love to see George climb up out of 12th place. I think that would be very exciting stuff to watch.
And you know who's going in that spot if he does climb up?
I don't know.
The Alphas.
Oh man, I did not expect the Alphas to be that low.
I thought they might make playoffs.
Yeah. Do you think he still has a chance?
No.
Okay. Sorry, Joe. You're
not.
done. It's over.
We'll talk about that in the prediction section, but we're getting to the business end of the regular season here.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of time to make a move anymore.
It really isn't.
You know,
This whole time we've been talking about hope, talking about what plays to make, how things are getting closer, how you gotta pick up the ball and stuff like that. Is that a phrase, pick up the ball? I don't care. But you can't make those moves anymore. Mm-hmm. I felt that just trying to change people out on my team, and I'm really not feeling that I can do much more than what I already have, which is worrisome to me. Yeah. I'll leave that for later.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next match is the Hey Macarena and Mixes Matchless team. And I think based on some comments I've made earlier in the show, I think that you can kind of guess where I'm coming down on this one. I'm predicting
David Mix is gonna win.
That is not what I'm predicting. I'm predicting Mix to pull out another one and continue this incredible back half of the season that he's had going here.
David is gonna win.
You heard it here. Now we have the Alphas versus Embrace the Suck. And I've got to tell you, huge difference in projections right now. Huge difference in real score right now. Both of which in favor of Armando of Embrace the Suck. And I think it's his week. He often says he loses one, he wins one, he loses one, he wins one.
Like you said, it was about time for scheduled loss. Scheduled loss already happened, so this should be a scheduled win.
A scheduled win. So it's Embrace the Suck all the way. How about you?
There is currently a difference in 4 games played just off of today. And again, it's hard to make predictions for the entire week when it's just the first day. And this is how we've been recording. We've been recording on the first day as opposed to the Sunday that comes before the week actually starts. With that 4-game difference, what are we looking at in point difference? We're seeing 18 to 35. That's 17. It's a 17-point difference. Do you think Alphas can make those 17 points with, oh shoot, actually that doesn't even matter. The extra games go to Embrace the Suck, not even the Alphas. The Alphas have less games. Man, that is a really tough position.
So if you're asking me, can he score 17 points in -3 games? I'm going to say no.
I think you would be right. I think this week may go to Embrace the Suck.
It's his week.
It is his week.
And next week it won't be, and then the week after it will be. And then the next week.
Do you think that'll be enough to get him into playoffs?
No.
Really?
I think at some point he's going to have to win 2 more.
I think I need to come up with different reactions because all of my reactions are just the word really with a bit of a higher intonation.
It's because what I'm saying is continuously shocking.
Doth thine words ring true?
Yes, they do. Well, Joshua, that brings us to the Aurelian Empire versus David the Vulture Kachiks. Now, David the Vulture was originally, I believe, projected, if not to win, at least to be very close.
Yes.
And after day 1, again, what you see here is the Aurelian Empire starting to build that projected gap a little bit. And I think I'm going to have to pick the Aurelian Empire on this one.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Mostly because I just have no faith in David the Vulture Kachiks.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
What can you do?
I do want to support David, shockingly enough. But I do believe the Aurelian Empire is supposed to. I think what I got last week was a very lucky break on my part. And the Aurelian Empire is just going to come back. He's just going to destroy whatever poor schmuck is next in line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. All right, I think that's enough said on that game.
For sure.
Yes.
No need to say more.
No, just
on that.
Leo wins.
Leo wins. And then the final game is the one that everyone was waiting for.
I know.
I know that last time this particular match happened, multiple people in the league actually took the entire week off of work just so that they could follow this match closely because it involved their 2 favorite media personalities, which are you and me.
Wow!
Yeah.
Who knew?
Commission Possible versus the Heart Knock Life. Joshua, what do you see in this match?
A whole lot of excitement and honestly a really great time. Playing against you is usually a pretty fun week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like finally we're both playing a gentleman.
And scholar. Honestly, though, like, it's shaping up... Okay. Listen, there is a huge difference.
Quiet on set, please. Quiet on set.
There's a huge difference currently between our teams, and his name is Pasternak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I heard, Little Bird told me, while I was sleeping in my hammock, as a Salvadoran does.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That Pasternak is not feeling too well.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little bit weak in the knees. He's running a little bit of a fever, got them chills. He might be sick. I think I warned you before the week started. You might want to bench Pasternak. You know, not too good things looking out for him from there. But you didn't do that. He had a great game today, but I think that's his only game this week.
Well, you heard it here. We'll see if that comes true. However, I do recall saying last week something along the lines of, "You've lost that ability."
I think you said the exact opposite of that. And
No. To see things in your dreams.
Oh, yeah. But I was right anyway.
Were you?
I don't even remember.
Yeah. We'll see. Anyway.
Fast forward.
Good luck this week, my friend.
Next week, and Pasternak is like 30 points. I'm going to be so sad.
He actually might hit that this week. He has 4 games.
Oh, it's crazy. For those guys who don't know right now, I don't think they would know because they're not here being recorded. But it's honestly a pretty close game with me having 29 and him having 25. Both of us the same amount of games, 42. I currently have 2 games more play than him, so we're honestly kind of on track
close,
to
yeah.
being even.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
I would like to see a very close game.
I would too, and they usually seem to be when we play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what makes it exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Joshua, that brings us to our final and newest segment.
Yeah.
Predicting the playoff picture.
Mm.
And I have been saying for weeks now, since this became a segment, that 2 weeks ago, the teams that were in the playoff picture would be the teams in the playoffs at the end of the season.
And that has changed.
It has changed, but my prediction has not.
Yeah, I can totally understand why.
Now, there is one team that I am beginning to question whether they will stay in playoffs or not.
Really?
Yes. Hey, Macarena.
I was actually going to bring that up earlier in the episode too, and I kind of saw that, and I totally know where you're coming from. It is a fair and astute, accurate, and great.
And you know, what I say
prediction.
Is, if you have stock in Lesser David, in Greater David, sell.
If you had stock in Lesser David, you should have sold it.
If you have stock in Lesser David, I don't even know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Who invests in someone who is called Lesser anything?
Crypto buyers.
Ugh, the worst.
The worst kind. Especially the ones who strike it rich after telling them you're not going to accomplish anything in life.
The worst. Yeah. So I'm still calling it, in no particular order. I believe the playoff teams are going to be... I'll stick by my guns for now. I believe, based on what I'm seeing, that the playoff teams will be the reigning Conqueror, the Aurelian Empire, Commission Possible, Mix's Matchless Team, Hey Macarena, and Embrace the Suck.
Okay. Because earlier you did say, does Embrace the Suck's pattern of 1 win and 1 loss make it 2 playoffs?
I think he
and
breaks.
Said no.
I think he breaks the pattern. And do you want to know why?
Why?
Because he is continuing to 1 win, 1 lose, 1 win, 1 loss without
1 win, 1 loss.
I had Chinese food earlier, so the name is still on my mind. So I think he breaks the pattern because he has been doing this without Kirill Kaprizov.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as Kaprizov comes back, man, that's a team to watch out for.
Definitely.
They're already a great team, already a solid team. With the addition of Kaprizov, he's hard to beat.
Yeah.
He's hard to beat.
Yeah. Do you think this last loss for him then was because it was his regularly scheduled loss, or was it because it was without Kaprizov?
Oh, I mean, it was his regularly scheduled loss, but there's no question if Kaprizov had been in it. I mean, it was such a close game. I think he lost by fewer than 2 points.
I think Kaprizov would have pushed him over.
Oh, for sure. To me, no doubt about it. Yeah, no, he's a different team with Kaprizov there.
Then it looks like the regular schedule is just out of luck.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. Now, what I will say is that I'm starting to be rattled off of my original prediction. And I am starting to think that it's very possible. I'm still keeping my prediction for now.
Okay.
I think it's very possible Hey Macarena falls out, and the shock of shocks, Willie and the boys might move on in.
This is what I've been saying for like a while. This is what I've
I
been
don't
saying
recall.
for a while. From the very beginning
I
of
don't
the
recall.
show that Willie and the boys was going to make it.
I recall
into
you.
playoffs.
I recall you repeatedly calling him Bozo in 3, Bozo in 4.
You're right, I did
Bozo
come up
in
with
5.
the intros for Bozo Watch.
Bozo Watch. That's how I remember it going down.
That's insane what, yeah, crazy.
Now, before we get your predictions,
Yeah.
I do want to point out one interesting thing
Yes.
about where we are in the season. Okay? If I'm not mistaken, after this week, there are 5 weeks left in the season, the regular season.
I believe
5
that is
weeks
correct,
remaining.
yeah.
Which means if Armando gets a win this week, okay? And let's say the King's Nation, King's dethroned.
Is
Quiet-
baby
quiet on set,
okay?
please. Quiet on
Is the
set, please.
baby okay?
Quiet on set.
Hey, cállate, she's suffering.
Quiet on set, please.
Genevieve, no. I just want her to be okay.
She's fine.
She's just choking a little.
Now, quiet on set, please.
I love her too. Genevieve is amazing.
Now,
Yes.
what we're looking at is after this week, if Embrace the Suck pulls off a win, okay, or frankly, even if he doesn't, if King's Nation loses this week, then he is 1 loss away from being eliminated from playoffs.
Really, that soon?
That soon. It's coming up.
Oof, that's rough.
It's coming up.
He cannot afford to lose anything.
Yeah, he's really, if he's going to make it into playoffs, realistically, he has to run the table from here to the end.
Man,
And it's just not looking like even this week that's going to happen.
that's crazy.
So we might, as early as 2 weeks from now, we might have a new graphic edited in by yours truly, Joshua, edited in that says, eliminated! And then, the King's Nation logo.
I feel bad doing
King's
that, though.
dethroned.
I would feel bad doing that.
Would you feel bad? You're going to be doing it to half of the league.
I don't want to be the graphic man
Maybe
anymore.
even to yourself.
That is another thing. I'm going to completely edit everything and make it look like I won the entire thing. It's going to be false news.
Nice. Anyway, just wanted to point that out there. It's coming up. We're getting to the business
I think
end of
that's
the
a very
season here.
important thing to point out. You
Yeah.
know, we're talking about George right now, but I think everyone in the league right now who is below, honestly, even in the 6th place, because I'm currently in it, should be making that kind of graphic in their heads, drawing it at home, editing it into their own videos, to kind of give them a picture of what needs to be done, what they need to be looking out for, what kind of rate of victory. You know, ideally, you want to win everything from here on out. But realistically, you want to make a plan that's like, what can you afford to lose? What can you afford to put more stock in, to use your words, to achieve that victory, to have that secure place in the playoffs and eventually the finals.
Now, how about you? How do you see the playoff picture shaping up?
Man, I totally agree with your point of view that nothing is really going to change. Like I said, totally get where you're coming from. I think a lot of it has really stayed the same. I think top 3 definitely are going to just remain Ben, Leo, and you for sure. Mix's matchless team now, I'm going to be adding to
Making a
that
push.
secured.
Making a push. Yep,
Mitch-
I think so too.
I keep calling him Mitch. Mix's matchless team. This is a tongue twister for me, I guess.
Who, I have to say, sorry to interrupt, but you have a great name suggestion for Mix's matchless team. I want you to tell the folks at home.
It's only a great name suggestion.
It is a
Let me-
great name
let me
suggestion.
pull up the name.
Period, stop, end.
It's only a great name suggestion if people have seen the series of Die Hard. You know, Kurt and I on the show, we're pretty big fans of Die Hard. You know, with some complaints here and there, and you know they're understandable. But Die Hard, I think, is a pretty great Christmas film. It's a great all year round film.
Mm-hmm. But especially at Christmas time. It's great to bust it out.
And you know, for if you guys have been, for those of you who aren't in the league, if you guys can kind of been keeping up with the name changes, what names you currently have, we like to use our names as kind of puns for pop culture, as one including films, music, anything like that. And so for Mix's team, we had the great idea of calling him Dry Hard after Dreisaitl, who's on his team, and you know is great.
I got chills again.
And we were thinking too, Mix, if you would be so gracious and kind as to hear our suggestions, you can maybe use the order of the films to change each name. So, like, if you have a victory, you know, you stay as Dry Hard. Another victory, Dry with a Vengeance. What's the name of the third film? Live Free or Die Hard.
You had a great one there because he also has Mika Zibanejad. He could put Zib free or Dry Hard.
Makes I don't know if you've seen Die Hard, man. If you
only...
haven't, I recommend it. Great film.
Yes, I would also recommend at least the first one.
Yes.
Now, I do have to say, and you'll hate this, but it has to be done. I am now going to make it my mission in life to end up with a team that has both Dreisaitl and Reinhardt, so I can be Dry Heart.
Well, not if I do it first. Not if I do it first. I'm going to make it into playoffs and make people salty. Oh man, that's great. That's great.
Well done. So who do you see in playoffs, Joshua?
Oh right, we're doing that. Okay, back into it. So like I said, we're adding Mix to that secure group.
Oh yeah,
because I believe those four are going to make.
I think they're about as close to a lock as you can get.
Yeah, I can realistically see Greater David dropping out of playoffs, or at least going much lower in the rankings for playoffs. If anyone's gonna squeeze themselves into playoffs, I think it will be.
You know, that's the thing though, and it happens so fast, but there's really not much lower in playoffs he can go.
Yeah.
He can go one more spot down, and then after that, he's not in the picture anymore.
Honestly, when it comes to how my view has changed for the playoff picture, I think the really only thing that's changed is the fact that last time I said between 6th and 9th maybe, all those people can kind of make it into playoffs. You know, we're fighting for that position.
Currently, I believe you said 6 and 9. Okay, all right.
And I think for this current update to the picture that I have, I'm going to have to extend that to 5th place, which is the place that Greater David is in right now. So I think anyone from 5th to honestly 8th now, let's remove 9, but to 8th, will be making it or fighting for that place in playoffs, which includes Greater David, myself, who is currently in 6th place, now in the playoff picture, but may or may not be holding on to that place depending on if I win or lose against you this week. Embrace the Suck, and Willie and the Boys. You know, those 4 of us, I think, will be fighting for that 5th and 6th place position.
So are you saying that in your mind there are really only 2 positions in the playoffs that are up for grabs at this point?
That is exactly what I believe.
So you're saying everyone is just fighting for those final 2 spots?
Yeah, I can't see many people who can beat Mix that are below him. Yeah. You know, I can see him losing to the people above, being Ben, Leo, and you. But I don't see many people underneath that who can beat Mix. I don't think I can beat Mix, and I have Reinhardt. Well, but realistically, like you said, those top 4 people will be remaining. I don't think anything is going to change. And we've included the 5th place now to a place to fight for.
And also, you know, worth saying, even then, the difference between missing the playoffs as of today, and 1st place in the league is 3 wins.
Yeah. Which, you know, keeps the league exciting, for sure.
Oh, yes.
We've said it a million times this time around. Ben was just secured to make it into playoffs for the next 6 seasons. I think,
and I think by this point in the last year, I think Jason may have already clinched as well.
Yeah,
you know, we really are. It's a tight field, and yet the end of that season coming right up, you can see it starting to just get tougher and tougher, you know.
Yeah.
As even though the standings are tight, you're starting to see that playoff gap is widening just a little bit, not because of the records, but because the end of the season's coming.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot harder to make a move now.
And honestly, I like it that way. I think it's really cool how you see our mentality of how to play fantasy hockey from last season, our very first season, and how much that's changed coming into season 4, a majority of us. Not David, the lesser. Because he's pretty much in the same place as before. He might not even make it into playoffs this time around, which is crazy to me.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, he's called Lesser David.
Yeah. Greater David, I can see.
Yeah,
Greater David.
it could happen.
Honestly, if I were to say who's going to make it into 5th and 6th place, though, I would want to say it's Embrace the Second myself.
Okay.
Probably in that order, too. I think I will barely make it into playoffs at 6th
It
place.
seems very on brand. It seems like something you would do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time around, I was 4th place, which isn't like
Yes.
super high, but you know, I would say it's kind of a fight for position. I would kind of say the only time it's not this time around is because Mix is there, and Mix is a very scary team to play against.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Well,
I think that brings us to the end of our episode.
any
As painful as it is, you know, I know you guys love watching us,
I know.
listening to our voices, and nobody else's that could be in this room with us. Not that there is one. Peanut Gallery. Can we call her Peanut Gallery from now on?
I wouldn't do it.
I will do it when I'm editing.
Well, folks, it's been a pleasure once more to bring you the news you trust, the news you need.
The news you feed.
For Livin la Liga Loca, I'm Kurt.
And I'm Joshua.
Have a nice day.